Hi, I'm Karen Conrad, and I am thrilled to let you know that I've got a brand new devotional coming out called The 60 Days of Purpose. This is a companion to my book, The Promise of Purpose, and it answers questions like, Lord, do you have a purpose for me? What is my purpose? Why am I here? If you are asking questions like, Lord, what needs to change in my life? Or you are ready for transformation in your life, if you can say yes to those, this devotional is for you. I've got a 21-day video devotional that I'm inviting you to join with me on the journey. So as we go through the devotional, there's a lot of pieces to each day that I want to share with you. And then we're going to walk through day 14 to just encourage you in the Lord today. So with each devotional, each day of the 60 days, we share a scripture that ties into what we're talking about that day. It might be a tool for success. It might be something about discovering your purpose. And then we share some information to help you understand the concept, or I'll share like a very personal decision or something I've made along this journey that will encourage you. Then we have a journal section where I ask you thought-provoking questions that you can write down and think about throughout the day. And finally, for each day, we've got a declaration that you speak over yourself in agreement with what God says about your life. So I want to share with you a very special day in this devotional, and it's day 14. Day 14 is about tools for success as we're going through this journey of discovering and living out our purpose. The scripture for this day is, "And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up." So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to everyone, and especially to those who are of the household of faith. I love that scripture, Galatians 6, 9, and 10, and that's in the ESV. Do you know, principles for success, whether personal or business related, can ultimately be traced back to the Bible. You know, when I was in business and in banking, I would share that with my team and let them know that, hey, the manual for success is in the Bible. And I would tell them, if you find something out there that's working, let's look at it and we'll be able to trace it back to somewhere in the Bible. God is all about our success. You will find that God is very invested in your success, and He provides you with all the tools, talents, and grace that you need. Some of these tools are good habits that you can develop to strengthen your character. Here's an example. Have you ever had enthusiastic teachers or colleagues change the atmosphere in the room because their passion for the subject or confidence in the team became contagious? Scripture indicates that it all starts with delighting in the Lord and His Word. That's in Psalm 112 in the Amplified. You should read the whole chapter. It's so good. And as a leader of an organization, of a team, or a family, if you approach the office, a Zoom call, or a meeting with a lack of enthusiasm, how can you expect the people around you to be encouraged and upbeat? With enthusiasm, you can overcome obstacles that would otherwise feel impossible. I want to encourage you to come with enthusiasm in your leadership role, whether it's in your family or with your colleagues. And when you do, you will find other people that enjoy being around you and have an enthusiastic attitude that is contagious. You know, this was a big plus for me in business. One of the things that I learned is I started in banking just as I was getting to know the Lord. I made a decision that I would walk around the office and in the hallways with a smile on my face. Do you know, today I will catch myself still, like maybe having a furrowed brow or concentrating, and I'll remember one of the interactions that I had with the president of that bank as I was walking down the hall. I was walking, I was conscious of the smile, just was thinking about the Lord, and he stopped me and he said, you know what, Karen? You always have a smile on your face. And at that time, I realized that I was one of the people in the company that people really was happy to have in a meeting, or was really glad to see me go down the hallway because I was carrying the enthusiasm. Do you know what came after that? Promotion. I'm telling you that when you apply this tool of enthusiasm, and when you know your purpose and you start to walk it out, it's like a supernatural enthusiasm that just comes from your heart, so you don't even have to work on it. Well, in that scenario, it opened the door for me to be able to really influence not only people above me, people across with colleagues, and then people that reported to me. And our team, we were retail banking, so you have that forward facing, right? But our team was known as a very strong and happy and effective team. And it ties back to this point of enthusiasm. And of course, that comes from the Lord. So if you are looking for a promotion, if you are wanting things to change in your life, or maybe to have a bigger influence in people around you, use this tool of success called enthusiasm. And when you bring that together with your purpose, it is absolutely powerful. So here's what we go forward with this is the journal part as well. So I'm going to read this to you just to give you an example of what you'll experience with this journal. So I ask you, do you remember a time when you knew the atmosphere needed to change in your office, and were you able to help with that change? Another thing to think about is, do you remember being in a meeting where maybe a leader or someone walked in that room not enthusiastic and they deflated the whole meeting? I can immediately think of examples on both sides of the spectrum. So I challenge you in this devotional to go through your day and ponder these things. Think about those examples. And for me, it helps when I write things down. If I'm in a meeting, if I'm trying to learn something, when I write, it's like it stays with me. And that's a lot of why we encourage you to journal through the 60 days of purpose. And finally, let's just go through the activation part and the affirmation for you on this day 14. Here's the declaration. I will not grow weary of doing well. I will influence and attract others with enthusiasm. I will be a change maker in my sphere. Isn't that awesome? So as I mentioned with the 21 days of video devotional, I give you a teaching similar to what we did today and encourage you with that day. And you also will have the activation, the journal, and when you bring that together with my book, The Promise of Purpose, and the 60-day devotional, I want to assure you that you will see God's transformation in your life, and you will be on that pathway to fulfilling your God-given destiny.